So what's up, everybody? I left off yesterday showing that I had the old rear end and the new rear end out and ready to go. And now, as you can see, I have the new one in the car. I've still got a few things to do today. I was out here till about 8 o'clock, 8:30. I didn't work on this most of that time. I helped somebody move some stuff and I washed their truck for them. So I took a break from this. If I wouldn't have done that, I probably would have got finished, but it ain't really a big deal. So I said that I had to get a new Watts link. I had to get new upper and lower control arms, and that's what I did. And I did notice when I had the new coil springs next to the old coil springs that the old ones are actually just a little bit taller than the ones that I put in. So I get to see how that looks. The only thing I don't like about the rear end of these cars is there's not really anywhere to put the calipers where they don't hang. Because no matter where you put them, if you've got the wheels on the car, you don't have anywhere to put them and they get in the way. I had a couple instances yesterday where the driver's side was fine because I can put it in that little hole right there, and the passenger side was not, and it would always fall and it would start hanging from the brake line. So we don't want that. So I'm not going to show part numbers just yet for the Watts link and all that stuff. I still got to put all that on and everything. I'll do that when the car's on the ground. I was going to call today about getting the registration put back on it, just because I don't know if I have to go back to the tag office to do that or if I can just call and get it done or do it on the website. I've obviously got to get insurance on it first, and then I'll definitely keep everybody updated. So I still haven't shown the Yukon and what I got for the Yukon. So because I made the video but then decided not to show it because I was showing this more than it. But I'll do that in just a minute. But we're almost there. I've got the upper and lower control arms on. I got the shocks on. I got the springs in. I got the Watts link on the axle, and I've got them bolted in on both sides. But one of the bolts is not lining up because I think you're supposed to, in the videos I've watched, you're supposed to pull the axle to one side so that it'll meet up. So I have to do that. It wasn't really that difficult getting the axle out. There's not a whole lot you have to disconnect. I've still got to put the parking brake cables back in, as you can see. There's something else I was going to say. I can't remember what it was, but I did buy new brake hardware for the parking brakes because I was going to reuse the old stuff, but I don't want to risk doing something like that. So I've got the new parking brake shoes. I've got the new parking brake hardware. I've got everything to put back on the car. I've got the two wheels I'm going to be using for the rear. And then that's one of the wheels I'm going to use for the front. And then that's the wheel that's fucked up that I have to get the tires swapped on. Because when I get one of these wheels swapped, I'm going to find the best one that I have out of the set of 4 from the old wheels and tires. And then the wheel and tire that they do, the wheels I'm obviously going to throw. The wheel I'm going to throw away. And the tire, obviously, I'm going to get them to keep because I don't need it. So I did kind of want to show why I'm not using the tires that were on the car originally. And it's a very, very, very dangerous thing to watch out for. So I don't know if y'all can see it. Oh, yeah. You can see how badly dry rotted and cracked those are. I think this side was worse. But, yeah, it's even worse. So you can see how badly dry rotted that is. I'm actually going to try to find a date code on these tires to see how old they are. There's the train. Never fails. I don't actually see a date code. But I know that these tires aren't brand new. So they're going to have to be replaced, unfortunately. And it sucks because they've all still got really good tread on them. But they run the risk of blowing out. And especially since it's getting hotter here in Georgia, the concrete's heating up, and that's what can cause tires to blow, especially if they're bad. So, because like the spare for the Yukon, it still looks brand new, and it's not dried out anywhere. So it makes me think that somebody replaced this at one point. So, but the date code on the Crown Vic tires that I'm putting on is, I think, 2018, which shouldn't really be putting 5-year-old tires on it, but they're not showing any signs of being dry rotted and cracked. So that also tells me that they didn't sit outside. So either the car that I took this out of was sitting in the garage most of its life, or it was just taken care of. But I mean, either way, I've still got the Mach 1 wheels that I can put on. So I'll probably drive on these for a little while, like I've said, and then put the Mach 1 wheels back on it. Because I know now it's going to handle a lot better than it did. Because not only does it have new rear suspension components, I got new springs, new shocks, and I've got the sway bar, which is right here. So it should handle a lot better than it did. It still needs all the front suspension redone. I don't know if I'll keep it long enough to do that, but I guess we'll see. Because I kind of spent money on this I wasn't expecting to spend, because I bought all the rear suspension stuff yesterday. It was, I think, $430 or something like that for everything. That was from O'Reilly's, because O'Reilly's was the only place I could actually get it the same day from another store. So Advance didn't have it. They wouldn't be able to get it the same day. AutoZone didn't have it. I didn't try Napa because there's not really one that close to me. I'd have to drive almost 45 minutes away to go to one, and I'm not doing all that. And I've never bought anything from Napa. That's the one store that I have never purchased anything from. Still need to buy the vent for the rear axle, because I'm not going to reuse the one on the other one just because it's so dried out. I know once I go to try to touch it, it's just going to rip. So I'm not going to bother with that. I'll just find something else. And that's really it. After that, all I'll have to do is put the drive shaft on and all that. Because, I mean, I could really right now, if I wanted to, I could put the weight of the car on the rear axle, because I've already done that. And when you torque everything, you don't torque all this stuff when the axle's just floating and resting in the air. You put the weight of the vehicle on all these parts, and then you torque them correctly. I know that the outside Watts link bolts are like 66 foot-pounds or something like that. And then the Watts link bolt in the center where it connects to the axle, that's like 180 foot-pounds. So that's quite a lot. And some of those bolts you're not going to be able to get to with a torque wrench, so you just have to do it by hand and by feel. So yeah, I've still got a little bit of stuff to do, so I'm going to go and change and get ready to do all that so I can get it done, get it out of here. Because I want to go and drive it today. Drive it around a little bit, see what's what. But that's it. I just wanted to give everybody an update. So this is going to be part 2. There's probably going to be at least 3 parts, maybe 4 to this video. So this is part 2, showing that I got everything installed. Everything's nice and brand new. When I get done with it, I'll show part numbers for everything. Like I said, I've already showed part numbers for the shocks and everything. So the only thing I'll be showing is the Watts link and the upper and lower control arms. Some people call them lateral bars, which is what the Watts link is, and then they call those something else, or they call those not panhard bars, but something else. But also, like I said in the other video, I didn't do it because I forgot, but I'll post a link to what a Watts link is, because I know a lot of people don't know what the hell it is. It basically is like a panhard bar, like my Tahoe has one, and it keeps the axle straight, because this doesn't have any kind of lateral support. So if the axle didn't have the Watts link, it would actually wander back and forth, and that's how you ruin shit. So, because it's got the rotational stability, because it's got an upper and lower control arm, but it doesn't have the side-to-side stability. So that's what the Watts link does. So yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.